Is Da Nang safe for expats and tourists? I get this question coming up all the time in my comments. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to have a look at some of the key areas that I hope will make your holiday and your life over here much safer. And if you hang around to the end, I'm going to give you some great tips on how to get around this beautiful city.
Da Nang has been in the news a lot lately, not because of rising crime, but because of heavy flooding the city has experienced over the past few months.
At least 13 people are dead after heavy flooding in central Vietnam. Triggered by record rainfall, the floods inundated over 116,000 houses and 5,000 hectares of crops.
These weather events have raised questions about safety for both expats and tourists. Fortunately, tourist and beach areas, especially coastal and central urban neighbourhoods, were largely spared. But after weeks of clean-up, the city has returned to its bustling self, and I'm happy to report that life, people and businesses are mostly back to normal. Ironically, after I did some research, the last major crime in Da Nang was committed not by a local, but a US citizen accused of violently robbing a jewellery store. What travellers to Da Nang should really watch out for is petty crime. The crime you don't see coming until you're missing a phone, a bag or a wallet. According to recent data, overall crime in Da Nang ranks are very low to low by global standards, including thefts and assaults. Still, local police say that theft, pickpocketing and street-level robbery remain a potential risk, especially around busy tourist zones, crowded markets, beaches and during the late night hours. Common targets are your phones, bags, cameras, wallets, basically valuables carried by distracted tourists. Bottom line, Da Nang is far from a crime hotspot, but petty theft and bag snatches do happen. Stay aware, travel smart, you'll enjoy the city without any worries.
The airport grab scam. Now personally, I wouldn't call it a scam. I'd call it opportunistic drivers cutting corners, and I'm not talking about street corners.
First things first, if you're new to Southeast Asia, Grab is basically the local version of Uber. Same idea, you open the app, book a car or bike, see the price up front and the driver comes to you. It's safe, it's cheap and it's what most travellers use to get around Vietnam. But when you land at Da Nang Airport, there's a common scam you need to watch out for. As soon as you walk outside, you'll see guys waving you over calling out Grab. They'll offer to take you for the same price as the app, or they'll try and quote a price verbally, and it's almost always way higher than the real fare. Some will even pretend they're the driver you booked, hoping you don't check your phone carefully. The fix is simple. Only trust the driver you booked through the actual Grab app. Check the name, photo and licence plate before you get in. And don't give your phone to anyone who says they're helping you with the booking.
Hiring and riding motorcycles and scooters over 50cc's in Vietnam. It's an awesome way to see this country, but it has its pros and cons.
Riding a motorbike in Da Nang is tempting. The freedom, the coastline, the thrill of exploring the city on two wheels. I get it, it's fun. But before you rent one, here's what you really need to know. Legally, you must have a valid motorbike licence and an international driving permit that Vietnam recognises. Most tourists don't. Rental shops aren't going to ask, but I guarantee you the cops will. And if you stop, you can face a heavy fine and the bike can be confiscated on the spot. And here's the big one. Without the correct licence, your travel insurance is void. If you crash, you're screwed. Even if someone else hits you, the insurer will not honour your claim. Hospital bills, surgeries, med evac, whatever it is, it's all on you. Ironically, the only scooter crash that I've seen, it was an expat laid out on the road covered in serious gravel rash.
If anything's going to kill me in this country, it'll be the damn footpaths. What do you reckon, guys?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Walking the footpaths of Da Nang is a bit like entering a real-life obstacle course, except nobody told you you'd be competing. The first thing you'll notice are the pavers. Now these aren't your regular, neatly fitted footpath tiles. No. These ones have decided to live their own lives. Some sit politely where they should, others are tilted at 45 degrees, and a few seem to be launching themselves into orbit. Step wrong and you'll get a free ankle workout you didn't ask for. Then comes the garbage, but every now and again you'll stumble on a mysterious pile that makes you question every life choice that led you here. And right next to that, dog poo, because why not? It's Da Nang's version of Russian roulette. Look away for 1 second and congratulations, you've collected a souvenir. But my personal favourite, the power lines. Loose and dangling, like Da Nang's own version of Christmas decorations, but designed by someone who hates ya. You'll be casually walking and suddenly boom, a cable is hanging at perfect forehead height, ready to baptise you into the Vietnamese electrical grid. Still, somehow it's all part of the charm. Once you've dodged the pavers, the trash, the dog poo and the surprise electricity, you've basically earned your place in this charming city. Welcome to the sidewalks of Da Nang.
Street crosswalks in Vietnam are not like street crosswalks in the West. The traffic will not stop for you.
Crosswalks in Vietnam are, well, let's just say more of a suggestion than a rule. If you're coming from a Western country, you might think a zebra crossing means cars will stop for you. No, here in Vietnam, stepping onto a crosswalk feels like a game of Frogger. You're standing on the curb, looking at an endless stream of bikes, cars, buses, and the occasional uncle carrying his entire family on the back of his motorbike. And you're thinking, there's no way I'm getting across. But the secret is, just go slow, steady, with predictable steps. Don't run, don't freeze, and definitely don't zigzag, unless you want to star in a viral dashcam video. The traffic will flow around you. Cars might honk, not because they're angry, but because they're politely saying, hey mate, I see you, but I'm still coming. Is it dangerous? Absolutely. Crossing the street in Vietnam is basically a team building exercise between you and the entire traffic system. And once you make it to the other side without being flattened, you feel like you've just beaten level 10 of Frogger on hard mode.
Just watch what the locals are doing. This will be a... what an idiot. Honestly, the only people who are riding like dickheads out here are the Western guys, young guys on motorbikes like that. Unbelievable. It's embarrassing, actually. Okay, let's talk about beach safety. Now, I don't want to sound like a party pooper here, and I know a lot of you have probably had some experience on the beach and whatnot, but not everyone has. And I've got to say, every beach around the world is different. You've got to treat it with respect. Being a mariner myself, I have a lot of respect for the ocean, and I'm always mindful of a new environment that I'm in. Now, one thing I've noticed here in Da Nang is these waves and the rips are very tight. The waves are tight together and they can come up on the shore really quick. So yeah, it's an interesting, they're interesting waves. I've never seen them like this back in West Australia. It might be something I've probably seen more on the East Coast, but yeah, very interesting, but they could be very dangerous. The other thing is, be mindful of is make sure you swim between the flags, because if the lifesavers see you swimming out of the flags, they're going to come after you and they will be blowing on that whistle, and it's for a good reason as well. The other thing is they have these really cool ropes and buoy setups, and when I first saw it I thought they were nets, but no, they're not nets, they're there for you to swim to and grab onto if you get in trouble. I think they're a great idea. I've actually never seen them in Australia. It's something they could probably implement and save some lives, especially with the tourists. We get a lot of tourists in Australia drowning, and we don't want to get that over here in Vietnam, guys. It's a good way to spoil your holiday. So, you know, just be careful, use your noggin, and swim between the flags, because if you get in trouble, those boys are out there to help you. Okay, let's talk about dengue fever. Now, I don't want to be an alarmist or a drama queen here, but I do think it's something you want to consider. Now, I'm used to it coming from Australia, especially being up in the Northern Territory and Queensland up there. The mozzies and the sandflies are absolute gnarly and they love me. So, look, it's not something you want to worry about too much, but I would just be mindful, especially if you're bringing your little ones. There's some good products out there, some semi-natural products you can get to spray on yourself. I've always got a bottle in my bag because, like I said, they just love me. They seem to come out in the evenings here on the beach and stuff, and they're tiny little things. Unlike Australia, they're massive and you can't miss them, but over here they're tiny little things and they're really hard to spot. So it doesn't hurt to just give your ankles a little bit of spray and just be careful. So I'm sitting here on the beach by myself enjoying a nice little beer. What am I having here? Hoegaarden with a blend of raspberry. Not bad, quite a nice drop. It's kind of slightly sprinkling here. I've got a bag over the camera here. I'm ready to dash any minute now if it comes down. But if you haven't already figured it out, this video is done in jest. I try not to take life too serious, but I'm always safety conscious no matter where I go. Especially when I'm in another country, it's easy to let your guard down and you know, get yourself in trouble. It's not hard. I've seen it happen over and over. The other thing I wanted to bring up was just a bit of cultural awareness, something that we can be mindful of when we're in these countries, especially in Southeast Asia. Vietnam's still a very conservative place, and I've mentioned a few times that we get a few looks when we're holding hands, and that's about it. I wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't sit there and canoodle and kiss in public, but we like to hold hands when we're walking around, and we still get some funny looks. And that's just an example of where they're at over here, and that's not a bad thing. A little bit of cultural awareness can actually go a long way in a country like Vietnam, especially if you can learn some of the basic language like hello, thank you. You'll get a lot of smiles from that, trust me, because a lot of people don't speak English over here. Unlike Thailand, it's a little bit more, it's a little easier to communicate over there, but over here, definitely there's a big difference in English language. The other thing, obviously, is just watch your temperament. Don't jump the gun too quick, and I've made that mistake a few times. Just maintain your composure. Again, there's that language barrier, so sometimes things are going to get confusing when you're trying to transact, you're in a market or whatnot. And to be honest, for the most part, I've had a wonderful time over here and had no dramas whatsoever. And I will say, Vietnam is extremely safe. Where I've been, everywhere that I've been, I've never felt unsafe, to be honest.
Stay tuned for the next episode. And do us a favour, everyone. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way you can support us right now.